Hello and welcome back to the weekly Cars.co.za news. I'm David Taylor, and in this week's episode, the Nissan South Africa factory could be closing. Multiple recalls issued for quite a number of cars. Apple will be taking over your car's infotainment system, and let us help you make a good buying decision. Let's go. Cars.co.za. In our first story, and yes, we know Nissan globally is struggling, and the attempted merger with Honda turned out to be nothing more than an aggressive takeover, but things look to get a lot worse before they get better. Here's why. Back in May 2025, Nissan announced a recovery plan to try save itself from bankruptcy, but unfortunately this means factory closures and employee retrenchments. The numbers are scary, with almost 20,000 Nissan employees scheduled to be cut and 7 production sites shuttered. Oof, that's gotta hurt, right? Right now, there's no confirmation exactly which factories are going to be shut, but an interesting report from Reuters had this to say: 2 factories in Japan, 2 in Mexico, along with plants in India, Argentina, and South Africa. Yeah, that's us. That's the plant in Rosslyn near Pretoria. To be fair, the writing has been on the wall for Nissan South Africa for some time. I mean, remember October 2023? There was already a restructuring plan in place after the NP200 production ended. But where to from here? I mean, right now, as it stands, Nissan South Africa, they build the Navara, both left-hand drive and right-hand drive, for South Africa and exports to the rest of the world. In terms of sales, almost 2,000 units in 2025 so far, and that's a shame. I still maintain the Navara is one of the nicest bakkies to drive, and I'm going to be sad to see this thing go. So what's going to happen to this factory once Nissan has left? My personal theory is that one of the Chinese brands is going to move in. There's already been a lot of conversation and feasibility studies for local production. I mean, GWM has been clamoring, so has the Chery Group. Could we see one of the big Chinese giants start making landfall in Pretoria with a factory? Answers on a postcard? Watch this space. On to the next story. We were sent a very interesting press release from people called the National Consumer Commission, and there was a whole list of makes and models of cars that are being recalled. The cars include the Jeep Wrangler, Chrysler 300Z, a bunch of Citroens like the C4, DS4, DS5, Merc CLA, S-Class, Volkswagen Polo Sedan, Audi e-tron GT, and Volvo XC90. Now, if I go through this release, the reason behind these recalls are varied. Obviously, the Takata airbag, that curse is still going to be with us for some years to come. There's some airbag faults for the Stellantis Group products. That's the Jeep and the Citroens. Brake hose issues for the Mercs, e-tron GTs. I mean, there's not many of them around, but there's enough of them to cause an issue with their batteries. They can overheat, and as we all know, electric fires are not fun. Volkswagen Polo Sedan, according to the release, has a rear seatbelt fault. Finally, the XC90. Now, I suspect this is the plug-in hybrid, as it talks about the battery. The battery that can overheat, leading to a thermal event. I mean, that's a very polite way of saying it can cause a fire. This Friday, would you like to come over to my house for a thermal event where we will char some meat? It can cause fire and kill you. Bring car back cause broken. Right, onwards. What I find interesting is usually car brands, the OEMs, they're very quick to issue recalls and releases, especially when there's potential for human loss of life or injury. I reached out to Merc to check out the validity of the claims, and they confirmed that some of their customers have already been contacted and repairs are going to be underway. But Volkswagen, I mean, they're not sure and they haven't given us a definitive answer yet. I suggest that if you own one of these vehicles, quickly pop a note to your dealership and see what's what. I'm taking this one with a pinch of salt, but I feel like I have to be morally responsible and let you know that if you own some of these cars, there could be a fault with them. Be safe, not sorry. Morally responsible. Look at me using big words like photosynthesis. The next story is less about cars but more about tech, but it got me thinking about the future of car infotainment. See, Apple, the cell phone giant, they unveiled the next generation of phone mirroring, and it's called Apple CarPlay Ultra. The first car to get this is the 2025 Aston Martin DBX, with more makes and models to follow soon. Phone tech like Apple's CarPlay and Android Auto, for me, have been such a blessing. I mean, let's be honest, we're all addicted to our devices, little dopamine hits, and being able to use some phone functionality hands-free while driving has been a blessing. I mean, you've got your Google Maps, you've got Spotify, you've got YouTube Music, and you can even do WhatsApps. I mean, I love getting a WhatsApp on Android Auto because the phone just goes, message received, it reads the message out, and thanks to speech to text, I can reply to that while my hands are always on the steering wheel. Like, that is such awesome technology. But CarPlay Ultra, this is where the integration and mirroring technology goes to another level. Now, Apple will be taking over your speedo, your rev counter, basically the entire car's user experience, your instrument cluster, your speedo, all of that, your infotainment. Apple is now reskinning that. Clever move, maybe. I mean, if you own an Apple device and you'd be used to that layout and user experience, more voice functionality is always welcome. I mean, you're now going to be able to use climate control and voice commands. Imagine just saying to your car, hey Siri, make the car's cabin 21 degrees. And the car will do that via your phone. I mean, this is a new level of connectivity. But where does this leave the legacy car makers who've invested billions of dollars and euros into making their own proprietary software? I mean, think about Mercedes-Benz, Hey Mercedes with MBUX, BMW's Hey BMW. Volvo has its own proprietary software backed by Google, and I think we're headed for a massive tech clash between Apple, Android Auto, and the car brands. I mean, what would you take? Finally, in some Cars.co.za news, we're introducing badges on our new and used car listings, so you know what's a good deal. Let me unpack how this works. You've been scrolling through our website looking for your new set of wheels, the wheels of your dreams. There are 3 badges that you need to pay attention to: pricing, price drop, and fast seller. Pricing will get badges like great, good, and fair, which are based on our advanced algorithms, real-time market analytics, market values, and trends. But remember that the condition and service history aren't covered here, so keep that in mind when you're searching. I think my favorite badge has to be the price drop. So if you found something you like, it's worth keeping an eye on it to see if the price comes down even further. There are definitely bargains to be had. Finally, the last badge to watch out for is the fast seller, and this is going to be tagged on the popular and in-demand vehicles. So if you see something you like and it's got the fast seller badge, guarantee that that vehicle will go quickly. I hope these badges help you get a sweet deal on your next set of dream wheels. And that pretty much wraps up this week's episode. I will link the additional content in the description below. And as always, I appreciate the conversations in the comment section. And I will see you next week. Okay, bye.
Let's find what moves you. Cars.co.za.